Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. I'm doing an old school recipe for you guys here today. One of my personal favorites, and that's spiced pickled red beets. I grew a few red beets this year. I'm making these specifically for myself. Thought I'd show you guys how to do it. Um, Spiced pickled red beets are kind of a old German recipe that comes from where I am here. A lot of the older canning books, 30, 40-year-old canning books, will have some type of recipe in for spiced pickled red beets. There's a lot of recipes that just use sugar and vinegar, but this one uses some allspice, some cloves, some cinnamon. And that's what I'm going to show you how to make today. I'm going to show you here real quick how to clean these red beets. This is a red beet that was out in the garden this morning. And we're going to steam these or boil these for a few minutes, probably 15 or so minutes to loosen these skins on here. But what we want to do is we want to cut back on the tops right here because we don't want all the color to leave our red beets. It's kind of called bleeding out. The same thing with the root. We don't want to cut up in here. We just want to cut back in here and kind of shorten this up a little bit. Got my knife here. And leave about 2-3 inches on the end of the beet. So you're going to have your beets cleaned and washed, and they're going to look similar to this right here. And then you're going to get them into your pot so you can start simmering them. And once they're simmered, you're going to let them cool, and then these skins will just slip right off. You don't even need a knife to peel them. Well, here is my washed and trimmed beets. I got them in my cooking pot here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover these with water. I'm going to let these simmer for about 15 minutes or so. And as you can see here, I got the larger beets on the bottom and I got the smaller beets on the top. And the reason for that is I'm going to start checking these beets about 15 minutes into the cooking process because I don't want my smaller beets to overcook on me and turn to mush. So I'm going to start simmering these, and about 15 minutes in, I'm going to start checking for tenderness. Start taking the smaller beets out, and I'll leave the larger ones in a little bit longer. Then I'm going to let these guys cool down a little bit, and once they're cooled down, I can slip the skins off. Alright guys, I got my red beets on simmering. Now I'm going to prepare my brine that I'm going to make for this. It's going to be a spiced brine. First thing I'm going to take is a cup of water, add that into my pot, and I'm going to take a cup of cider vinegar, add that in, and then a cup of granulated sugar. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of kosher salt into this. This is just for a small batch. This is going to be about 3 pints, I figure. Should be enough salt there. Give this a little stir, kind of dissolve this a little bit. A little heat going on it. Just real low. This doesn't have to be crazy boiling just yet. Now, this is kind of the alchemy of this. We're going to add a spice bundle into this, and what I'm going to use for the spice bundle is I'm going to use a piece of cheesecloth. You can see the little square here that I got to cut out. I cut a piece off my big chunk of cheesecloth, and I rinsed it really good with some water. Now I'm going to add a stick of cinnamon to this. I'm going to add a couple of whole cloves. Let's do 3 there. Going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of peppercorns and a 1/4 teaspoon of mustard seeds. And then I'm going to put about, let's say 4 or 5 allspice berries into it. That one's a little funky looking. We'll put a better one in. Just like that. Now we're going to fold this up. Tie a little bit of a knot in the top here. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Just like so. Spices in there. I'm going to take another piece of cheesecloth. I'm going to tie this around the outside edge so I got a little bit of a tail to work with. Plus it makes it a little bit more secure. We don't want our spices to get loose in our brine. So you're going to have a little pouch that's going to look something like that, and we're just going to take that, we're going to set that into the brine as that warms up and move this over here. So now we're going to just let this slowly come up to temperature, dissolve that sugar in there, and that's going to infuse those spices and those flavors into that brine. And that's what we're going to use to cover our red beets with in our jars. Alright, I've taken a couple of the beets out of the hot water here, and I've let them cool just a little bit. I'm going to turn a little bit of running water on here, a little cool running water, so I can handle these guys. I've already done a couple. I'll rinse these off here, and I'm going to take my fingers, and I'm just going to peel the tops and the skins off. These skins will just slip right off, just like so. My hands there, and that's what the peeled beet looks like. I'm actually going to put some gloves on here and finish the rest of these off so I don't get my hands all red. But I'm going to start slicing these and getting these in the jar. Just wanted to show you how to peel these guys. Alright, I'm going to show you here how I slice these beets into the jars. I'm going to slip the skin off, just like so. Got my glove on so I don't get my hand all red. Trim this end off here. Trim a little bit of the top off. Rinse it off good, make sure I don't have any peelings on my hands. Don't want to get these into the jar. All I'm going to do is I'm going to slice these. Into my jar like so. When I got them all in there, I'm going to pack them down just slightly, and I'm going to continue to fill till they look like this one right here, just about to the top of the rim. Alright, I got 2 of my jars filled here with my hot brine. I'm going to fill this last one here, show you. Just doing it a little bit at a time, so we don't want to overfill the jars. Looks about good right there. This guy out of the way. Take our knife and run them down through. Make sure all the air bubbles are out. Press that down a little bit. Now we're going to take our lids here. Get one of them ready. We'll wipe the tops of our jars just like so. We'll take our lid. Tighten it down firm but not too tight. And when these are all lidded up, they're going to go in a hot water bath for 30 minutes. If you happen to have some leftover beets and brine, you can just mix them together, put them in a bowl or in a jar, and you can keep them in the refrigerator for a couple of days. You can just eat them for fresh. These guys right here are probably going to get eaten today. That's why I'm just leaving them in a bowl. The longer they set, though, the more flavor they're going to have. Here are our 3 pints of spiced pickled red beets. Just took them out of the hot water bath canner. They were in there for a good 30 minutes. We're going to let these guys sit on the counter now so they can seal. Let them sit for a day, and then they're going to go with the rest of our canned food. That way we're going to have these guys to have with sandwiches or salads this winter. Just wanted to show you guys this quick recipe on how to make spiced pickled red beets the old school way. This is Modern Refugee. I appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys are getting a little information and a little entertainment out of my videos. You guys have a great day.